Oh boy.
Only got some of it all.
All right. Hello.
Say, John, did you say you guys were going to get an inch of snow?
We're going to get about an inch of snow. It'll shut down the whole world around here.
That's what I was going to say. Down south, that's a virtual blizzard.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we don't get that. Now, anyway, we're doing a video here about standby beers. And, well, what is a standby beer? I think we all know what that is. It's, well, well, first let's see who we have so far. We may have some other people joining. We've got Jacob and Michelle from Wyoming. We've got Brandon from Mississippi, myself from Louisiana, Charles and John from Indiana, John from Alabama, Eric and Nate from Massachusetts. Hello, everybody.
Yo, yo, yo. Hi.
Now, I'll tell you what I see y'all are showing your beers. I'll tell you this. To me, a standby beer is something I've been having since I started drinking beer 19 years ago. But it's you know, it's a beer that you buy and keep in the fridge. It's for drinking. It's not for like dissecting or fussing over. It's made the hard way. Whatever, you know, it's something like Rolling Rock. Anyway, why do I have Rolling Rock? Well, because it was on sale. That's why.
All right.
Yes. You know, it's okay. Anyway, y'all can all show what you have. Everybody show. I mean, like, you could take turns telling everybody what you've got. Alaskan Amber. Okay, not what I would typically think of as a standby beer. But if it's something you keep in your fridge all the time and you drink it just whenever, it can be any beer. Okay, so you have Alaskan. What about Beer Cook?
I've got Olympia.
There you
go. I'm happy to say has just come back into distribution in Wyoming. So I picked that up, and it's pretty decent. It's another legacy brand that Pabst owns now, and according to Men's Journal magazine in 2012, this is one of the 25 best beers in the world. But I don't know that I'd quite go that high, but
that beer is out on the West Coast mostly, right?
Yeah.
Last time I saw it in Baton Rouge.
Here.
Last time I saw it was in Baton Rouge.
We get it in Indiana.
Yeah, I've seen it in Chicago. Last time I saw it in Louisiana was in Baton Rouge, and that was like 1997. It was Olympia Dry. Okay, now Brandon, what do you have? I'm getting echo. I'm getting an echo from somebody. I think I know. Eric can check on that. He's good at tracking down the echo. Okay, Sam, Brandon.
Is it me? Okay, Sam Adams Boston Lager is what I have. Definitely one of my favorites, and one I like to have in the fridge. And of course, if you're going to have a Sam Adams, proper glassware.
Oh, nice, nice.
Very nice.
So that's something you keep around quite a bit, huh?
Yeah, I do.
It's like what, 4.9%, and
yep.
Pretty sessionable. So kind of the beer that it didn't start. It wasn't the first craft beer like they try to let you think, but it certainly was the one that got it really rolling, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. It's available in all 50 states, and it's just such a good beer. It really is.
I know some people that hate it, but I don't understand why. I like it.
Same here.
It's a macro beer, I guess you could say, but so what if it's good? Charles?
Going back to the conversation from last week, we talk about the Kraft macaroni and cheese bit. I've got a guilty pleasure.
There we go.
Bud Light.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
It's not micro-brewed.
Shots fired. Now, is that like a standby that you have quite often?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because you can pound them.
Yes, you can.
Oh.
There's no doubt about that. When I work at Bingo, I'll drink Bud Light or Coors Light or Miller Light. That's all those guys over there drink. to them, they're like in heaven. Oh, we're drinking. And then I brought a beer, like that Smithwick's Pale Ale, and the guy was like, let me try that. He didn't even finish it. He dumped it down the drain. I said, what a... Yeah, he didn't like it. It was nasty. All right, but he wasn't willing to try anything different. We got Friar Tuck join us. Now, Eric, what do you... I know Eric's about the show.
Yeah.
I know what Eric's got.
Again, I have the weird standby. Mine is Carlsberg from Copenhagen, Denmark. Now, I wouldn't say, I mean, I would like to even more this year, but I wouldn't say that this is always around in my fridge. But when I'm really at a beer store and I'm confused what I want to grab and I see Carlsberg, I'm absolutely going to grab it. They call it a German-style Pilsner on Beer Advocate. It's 5.0% ABV. It's been produced since 1847, and they say on their website it's around in 140 countries worldwide.
Yeah, Carlsberg Group is one of the biggest brewing companies in the world. I think it's in the top 5 or 6.
But I read 4 somewhere in the world in production of beer.
Oh, okay. And Carlsberg is made under a royal warrant with the royal family of Denmark, which I guess is something. That's why they have a crown on it. And
by appointment to the Royal Danish Court. Yeah.
Yeah. And the one I really like, although it's a little rough to drink because it's pretty bold, is that Carlsberg Elephant.
Those are the only 2 we get in the States.
Yeah, I like that Elephant now. But it's not as drinkable as Carlsberg, but it's a little tougher, to bust you up. But that's what it was created for. That's why they got Elephant on it. Anyway, Friar Tuck.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
How's it going?
Fine. How are you today?
Oh, not too bad.
And what are you going to show us as your standby beer?
Well, I can't say I'm kind of like Eric. It's not always in my fridge, but when I can find it, I usually get any kind of Jenny product. I got Jenny Ice tonight.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I like Genesee Ice.
Usually it's cream. I can find cream ale a little bit easier than Jenny Ice or the lager. And I hadn't had this in a while, and I found it in Rhode Island this past weekend for the Super Bowl, so I picked up a 30-pack of it.
Okay. Now, I've only seen it really around in the, the 24-ounce can single sales.
Yep. Yeah, I used to be able to find them here too for like $1.99, something like that. But then I haven't found them in a while. I can still find cream ale every now and then in a 24-ounce can, but.
Okay, now hold on a second. Beer Cup says we're getting a lot of lag between video and sound. Is anyone else having that issue? These things do crop up sometimes where there's. It does happen, Beer Cub, and it's hard to track down what it is, but it's don't be shocked. It's happened. We've had it really bad before, where it was hell, but you just have to deal with it, I guess. But talking about Genesee, the Genesee Cream Ale just recently showed up in our area back in November, so I bought a 6-pack, and I do believe I'm going to go buy some more of that unusual beer.
Oh, no.
Now, Jean,
Actually, not too long ago, Jay had that.
No.
I had that on draft about 2 months ago. That's pretty good on draft.
He does. Okay.
how it was good on draft?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'd like to try that. Now, John, I see you got some little Milwaukee's Best from 1890. What is it? 1895? Yeah.
Exactly. The Milwaukee's Best Premium is what I'm having here, and I just got done finishing that. I actually opened it up before we started the video chat. So I got that, and another personal favorite of mine's Ice House, 5.5%. And this one, Milwaukee's Best, and even Pabst are probably my 3 go-to beers that I'll have, in the house from time to time for myself, So yeah. I'm a big ice beer guy. So.
Well, if you like it, there's nothing wrong with it. Ice House, of course, came out in 1993, and that started the ice beer craze. And then that was the first mass-produced ice beer. And then Milwaukee's Best came out in 1895, and it was produced by a little company called Gettleman.
Right.
They got bought out by Miller in 1961, and then Miller had this idea they were going to reformulate it and repackage it, and they came out with the new Milwaukee's Best in 1984. And so that's the history behind that. Gettleman, they said Gettleman was literally across the street from them. It was literally across the street from the Miller Brewery, and so it wasn't much to buy it. It was right there. Now, going on, John.
Yes.
What are you looking at tonight?
Well, I bring a very important beer tonight to this group.
Uh-oh.
I have a feeling, like Paul McCartney said with the Beatles, I have a feeling down inside. Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead and show us, because we all know what it's going to be.
I brought the king of beers tonight.
What a shock. What a shock.
I could have picked from about 70 different beers, but I had to, for the Super Bowl, I had to bring the king of beers.
Let the games
You
begin.
pulled out that bow tie can.
Show it to us. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
There you go, guys.
Speak of the devil.
And you know what? I even have appropriate glassware also. It says Budweiser on it.
Nice.
After all that's been done, I don't know how this man.
I actually stopped down to the.
A Budweiser.
I got to tell you the story behind buying this today. It's actually an 18-fluid-ounce bottle. I give $1.63 for it. I stopped down to our local Steve's shop. Chuck will know what I'm talking about. I walked up to the counter and I paid for it. And the lady goes, "Would you like a bag for that?" I said, "Lady, I'm not ashamed to carry my Budweiser out."
Yeah, but she thought you might want to drink it out and out. You know what I mean?
I said, "I don't need it in a bag."
She should have given you a straw. I don't know why you didn't bring some pumpkin peach ale. But anyway, so you keep I mean, but all jokes aside, that's the kind of thing you would keep around just as a go-to beer to eat with a ham sandwich or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
What's wrong with a good Budweiser? I mean, I keep Bud. I mean, me and Chuck, I mean, there you go. Bud Light, Miller Light. I mean, that's our go-to beers.
Okay. Well, if it is, it is. Now, we've got last but certainly not least, and maybe not last because some other people said they were going to join us, but you know how that happens. You can only get 10 anyway. We've got Nate K. from Massachusetts. Give us what you got.
All right, so I used to be able to stock this in my fridge all the time, and I did in college, but this actually is the quite possibly the last can of Carling Black Label in the state.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's got the most interesting one of the night.
I can't even find. I found the Carling website finally, and they have nothing on Black Label at all on their website. I found an obscure picture of like a bunch of their brews.
That's made by That's made by Pabst, anyways.
Is it? Because
so.
I mean, I found it says on the back, Hilleman Brewing Company in Milwaukee.
Hilleman, yeah, but Pabst.
Is that
okay? But yeah, let me give you the info on that little deal.
Go.
Don't mock me. I shall not be mocked. All right. Carling was started in Canada by Carling, okay? So then they got a contract with Hilleman. It was really National Brewing. You know the people that started Colt 45 at National Bohemian? They got a contract with them to brew Carling in America, Carling Black Lager in America. All right. Well, then Hilleman bought National, and then Stroh's bought Hilleman in 1996, and then Pabst bought Stroh's in 1999, so they own the rights to produce Carling in America, but they don't actually own Carling. Carling is owned by Molson Coors, I believe, of Canada.
Yeah.
So they sell it in England, and it's just called Carling, no longer a Black Label. I don't know why. But if you go to South Africa, it's like the #1 beer brand in South Africa, and if you get on their website, the Carling Black Label website in South Africa, it's a big, extensive website, Nate, and they go through all kind of stuff about it. And I do believe that there is an obscure Carling website that Pabst has, but there's not a whole lot to it. But
Yeah, I know. I can't find Carling down my way anymore either. I'm down southern part of Connecticut, and I used to be able to find it here. I used to be, like I said, last time I found it, I was in Agawam, Mass, back in September, and I found it. I bought a 12-pack of it there on my way home from the Big E. Now, and like I said, I can't find it down here anymore. They used to carry it in a package store near me. The woman used to break up, I think it was either 15 or 18 packs of it, make individual 6-packs. So an old timer used to go in and buy it, but I went back there, I don't know, a couple months ago, and she said, no, we haven't had that in a while, because last time I got it there was last summer. So
Yeah, we haven't had it around here.
Black Label.
Some guy from Michigan sent me 2 cans, and he wanted me to do a review, and I said, golly. So I did it. I liked it. It's not any different than pretty much what we're drinking, but it's got its place. But if you go to South Africa, it's a huge beer. Well, it is the #1 lager beer in England too, by the way. But they just call it Carling over there, and it's a different recipe. Like over here, it's like, I think over in America it's 4.8 or 5%, but in England it's 4.2 or 4.4. It's pretty weak. It's like this Rolling Rock 4.4, something like that. But it's made for guzzling.
Two more economy beers I can't find anymore either is Stroh's and Keystone Premium.
Really?
I used to be able to find both of those in Rhode Island, and I went there this past weekend, and neither store carried them anymore. So,
hey, we have
we can get Stroh's around here now.
What do you mean now? What do you mean now? You weren't able to a while ago, or?
No, what Chuck? Maybe the last 6 months we can get it.
Yeah,
Probably
that's
the last 6 to 8 months we can start getting Stroh's again around here.
I'd recommend picking it up then.
Oh yeah, we've had it.
I think it was abandoned from Louisiana in about 1990. It left Louisiana. There's some old bar in New Orleans still has a Stroh sign hanging up on the outside, but that's.
I think I read something online to Pabst was going to regionalize a lot of their economy beers, I guess, but I don't know how true that was.
It is true. They did it with Schlitz. You can only get Schlitz in about half the states now, which is a nightmare. But luckily,
when I went to New Jersey, I went home and I saw a 30-pack of Schaefer's, and that's another beer that you see a lot in the Northeast, around New York, New Jersey. I was down in Wildwood and I saw that, and I can't get it here, and I don't know if they sell it where you are, Jay, down in Louisiana. I'm not sure, but
only Schaefer Light. Now I can go to about.
Yeah.
I can point out a bunch of different stores where I can get Schaefer Light. Okay.
No, that's weird. I've never seen Schaefer Light around me. Schaefer's all over the place. Like you said, 30 packs, 40s.
Right.
I've never seen Schaefer Light up here though. I guess like in Delaware and Maryland and that it's pretty popular too. The Schaefer Light, but
I can go right there to Hammond and Ponchatoula. They've got Schaefer Light in 12 packs and 24 packs. I can go to Metairie. They've got it in the suitcases everywhere. But back in the 90s, man. And then I want to go back to Michelle because I want to hear about this Alaskan Amber. But back in the 90s, like say 1996 to 99, I used to go to a grocery store over here and they used to have Schaefer, the regular Schaefer, and they had it in a suitcase and they called it the Weekender. It was called the Weekender, and it was $7.98 for a 24-pack suitcase.
Damn.
That's a deal, man. That's an awesome deal.
Drunk, son.
And that's why I had a whole fridge full of it at all times. At all times. And I used to like Schaefer, man. I used to drink that stuff.
Schaefer's good. Schaefer's is good, man.
And Schaefer was like my favorite thing. And then it just like one day it was gone, and I couldn't find it. And they only had Schaefer Light, and I was like, what's going on around here? So I wrote an email to the company, and I was like, through the Schaefer website, which I was writing to Pabst for. I said, what's the story, man? And the lady says, well, you don't sell it in your state anymore, but you can still get Schaefer Light. I said, I don't want that. But although Schaefer Light is probably a better than average light beer. Yeah, it's a great legacy beer. John is right about that. And like John Sharon will bring up, a lot of these things that we're drinking, we might turn around tomorrow and it would be gone. Like Bud Dry. Bud Dry was another one of those standby beers I used to have all the time, and it disappeared in March of 2010, never to be seen again. Now, I'm going to go to Beer Zerker, but I want to go back to Michelle. Now, Michelle, you keep that Alaskan Amber quite often in your fridge as a standby beer?
If we can find a good price on it, yeah. Full disclosure, the one beer that you may almost always find in our house would be PBR. But both of us figured you all have had PBR. So, but the other standby beer for me was Oktoberfest style. Like, I love the Shiner Oktoberfest. I stock up on it when it comes out, but when it's gone, and I cry because I drink that the way some of you guys might drink, say, Bud or Miller or whatever. I love that. So the Alaskan Amber is an alt style. It's a nice malty beer. It's a real, you can see the color. It's a real pretty color. It's got nice carbonation. I don't like a flat beer usually. I like a beer that has that fizz on the back of your tongue. So and it's a bit lower alcohol than some of my other beers that I tend to drink.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. What's the ABV on it?
It doesn't say on the bottle, so I'm guessing around 5, but I'm not sure.
I've had that beer. Somebody sent me some Alaskan beers, and I liked them. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Some places sell Pabst Blue Ribbon Light, but that's kind of rare. Now, it's a good light beer. Old Milwaukee Light was one of my standby beers when I lived in Southwest Louisiana. Brandon said, "Oh yeah, if you go to Lafayette, Louisiana, that is a old Milwaukee town for whatever bizarre reason. Just like if you go to Shreveport, you'll be inundated with Schlitz malt liquor, and Old English 800, and the 12-packs with the tiger on it, which is very rare. It's the 12-pack with it's a tiger jumping over the beer cans. That's sort of a collectible to me, I think. But anyway, now Beer Zerker from the Dominion of Canada. How you doing, Beer Zerker?
Oh, not bad.
What is your standby beer, sir?
I started drinking this new brewery open in Calgary, and they make some pretty awesome stuff. It's the same price as Bud or Kokanee or whatever, so it's called Tool Shed. I like the Red Rage, so I've been trying to pick that up more often. And I'm drinking Dieu de Seal. That's from Quebec, Canada. I'm drinking their IPA right now, the Corn du Diable. It's all in French, right, so I can't pronounce it, but a lot of that Quebec beer is something I'll buy again and again. And Olympia for domestic pale, if I want $1 a can beer, which is about as cheap as it gets up here.
Okay, Olympia. Golly, they can get it in Canada. I can't get it here. How you like that?
It's brewed. We have some. You can get it brewed in Washington. That can's probably brewed in Washington that they're holding up your cup there. And mine's brewed in Saskatchewan. The stuff we get is actually brewed in Canada.
Now, what's the beer? Now, the Tool Shed you said was made in Calgary?
Yeah, that's brand new, and actually literally started out of a tool shed, like Buddy's all grain set up, and he's doing really well. So he's got a cream ale, phenomenal red ale, and an IPA, which I like a lot. And so I've been trying to support them a little bit more, and it's just delicious. So no problems, and it's cheap. So.
Okay. Now, before we get off of
So
this,
cheap. So he said cheap. What does that run like a 6-pack?
$13. That's the same price as Budweiser up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Hey, Jay, I got something to show everybody before we get off, bub.
All right.
So, who all's drinking Olympia?
I am. Well, not tonight though, but quite often.
Okay. Hey, Jay, you may have seen one of these. This is very old. How about a 7-ounce Olympia can?
Wow. 7 ounce.
Not bad.
Got a shirt on him.
Yeah.
7 ounce. Little Oldie.
Little Oldie.
Yeah, I picked up my Olympia shirt at Old Navy here in Connecticut, so go figure.
That's what you were wearing that the whole time? Right on.
Two of the three Olympia cans I have I bought in Louisiana, but it just disappeared, man. my cousin was telling me, we drink that stuff. It's nasty, but we drink it. I said, well, you know, he was drinking Olympia Dry, and I said, it's nasty. And I bought a 12-pack, and I said, it's not nasty. It's just dry beers. They're kind of different. They don't make them anymore. They don't really make them anymore, except for outside.
Good luck finding dry beer in the U.S. anymore, anyways.
Exactly. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
I believe it's still big in Canada, but I think Labatt still makes it dry up there. I'm not sure if Molson does.
Yeah, Molson Dry, Labatt Dry.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when the ice beers came out. I don't know if it was shortly before or after the dry beer craze took over in the U.S. I remember drinking some of those when I was borderline of age when they were popular. But yeah, they were super dry.
Yeah, I think those were in the late 80s. I think that was like in 1989. And they had Bud Dry and Michelob Dry, and those were good beers, but I think the name chased people away. They thought it was going to taste, I don't know what they thought it was going to taste like, you know, like it would make you, look, Eric's got a guess. Well, anyway, now,
his beer for a standby is the Guinness Draft.
Yeah, Draft.
Not
Wow.
Draft.
It's kind of expensive.
Terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but, okay, one more question, then, because then we're going on 30 minutes, close to 30 minutes. In my case, I do not have a particular brand of beer that I keep on standby. People ask me that all the time. What is your? I said I don't have one. I have whatever's on sale. Okay, they're so similar in flavor. If I go and I buy Miller High Life instead of Rolling Rock, it's not going to be that different. So I just buy whatever's on sale.
One of the big three light beers is right.
And usually I don't buy light beers because look, like this.
Light beer.
Rolling Rock is only 130 calories, so I usually will reach for something like natural ice because you're getting a little more alcohol and you still got low calories. But going down the line, okay, now Michelle told us already what she does. Now, Beer Cub, do you have one? I'm just going to ask everybody the same question. Do you have a standard brand?
Yeah, I mean, like she said, most of the time PBR is what we keep around, but since I found this Olympia this week, I thought I'd bring it. Again, I'm like you. I shop price mostly for those kind of beers.
Do you find Olympia kind of can compete with PBR in taste? They're pretty similar.
Yeah. I think it has maybe just a slight more, and I mean very slight more hop flavor, a little bit of citrus, but you know that's compared to PBR, not compared to a pale ale.
Where are you guys located that you can get Olympia?
Wyoming.
Oh, it's that far, I should say. What is it, east from
Washington State? Yeah.
East of Washington, yeah, southeast. Peter Zerka, you already told you don't have a particular brand either, huh?
No, not usually. Like I'm trying to pick up Tool Shed a bit more, and I'm trying to pick up a certain. I do drink a lot of Phillips, like craft beer out of Victoria. I'll probably pick one of their beers up almost once a month, like a bomber or something, or a sampler pack. But Olympia, I'll usually pick up a couple 12s in the summer. You know, and that's a lot of the same beer for me.
Ice House, Bud Dry.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Brandon?
What's that?
Like, do you have one particular brand that you kind of like always run to, or you just shop around like us?
I do shop around. I do shop by price, but like I said, you're talking about Miller High Life, you're talking about PBR, you're talking about Bush, Coors Original, and of course Sam Adams. That pretty much covers my standbys.
Okay. Charles, you said Bud Light and Budweiser. What else? Miller Lite, right?
Yeah. Bud Light, and believe it or not, I'll drink Keystone Light as well.
Whoa, wait a minute. Don't you drink the Bourbon Barrel Stout? Come on now.
We're talking about standbys.
I do enjoy really good beer, but I have guilty pleasures as well.
I miss regular Keystone, even though it's not the greatest. I used to get that Keystone Premium, but it hasn't been here since 1999. Same with Schaefer. Okay, now we got Eric. Your friend drinks Guinness Draft.
This is Dave. Yes.
Yes, Dave.
I will actually, now that he brought this Guinness, I think that Guinness is a good standby brand. They make things that are really flavorful, not too expensive, and everything they make is very, very good. And I also really like, let's see here, Miller Brewing Company, and stuff like Stone and Ballast Point and Green Flash. I really love those beers as well.
Okay, and then of course Carlsberg is your main line one.
Absolutely.
And now, Fried Chuck, do you have a particular standby brand, or you just do like us go?
I tend to lean towards Jenny Cream Ale or Jenny Ice, just because as a child growing up, that's usually what my dad had in the house. Was one of those, or Jenny Light. I don't really buy light beer, but he would have Jenny product. It was big. I grew up in upstate New York near the Albany area, so that's usually what my dad had around the house. My dad wasn't a big drinker on his night off. He'd have a couple cans of beer, a couple bottles of beer, and he'd pour a little bit into a juice glass for me. So, and like I said, I can find it for under $18 a 30-pack around me. So it's usually cheaper than anything else that's available. I found it for 15 and change in Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's the same price around here, but it used to be a lot cheaper, but of course everything's going up for various reasons.
I get Narragansett when it's on sale too, but like I said, it's close to like $22 a 30-pack, so I can usually get Jenny or Jenny Ice for cheaper.
And Narragansett's like $1 for a tall boy at most clubs in where I'm at in Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Now, Sean, you just like those ice beers. You're kind of like me. You like to go.
Yeah, I'm big on the ice beers. Right, I'm big on the ice beers. Natural Ice, Keystone Ice, as I mentioned, Ice House, Milwaukee's Best, Old Milwaukee. I think those are probably the 5 that I will go buy, whether it be a 4-pack of those ice beers or the Milwaukee's Best or Old Milwaukee. A 12-pack, whatever, just something to throw in the fridge, something just to have, if I'm sitting at home watching a movie or whatever. My wife hates that I drink these beers. She can't stand it. She's a big, she loves Bud Light. She loves Bud Light, and me, if someone offered it to me, I'll drink it, but I won't buy it. But I'll buy it for her. But
why does she hate that?
That's my thing.
Wait a minute, hold on. Why does she hate that you drink those beers?
Because she's for whatever the reason, she says, oh, these are BS beers. I say, well, they may be BS beers, but I like them. They're smooth, and I love the price, which is
another ice beer. Come on now.
Yeah.
Damn it! Don't let her watch the Super Bowl next year.
My daddy used to make fun of me, like back in his drinking days. He would say, why you buy all that cheap stuff? That stuff tastes terrible.
Right.
You're just buying it because it's cheap. I said, Daddy, I'll tell you something. I said, if you did a blind taste test, you wouldn't even be able to tell them apart. Oh, yes, I would. I said, all right, go ahead. I said, well, go ahead and pay $4 more a suitcase for Coors Light than I said, but I'll just buy Keystone Light or whatever, you know what I mean?
I'll buy that too. I'll buy Keystone Light if,
they would just like
that too.
Man, they used to rag on me all the time over that stuff, man. So I know about. You said your wife hates those beers. That clicked with me because I used to catch so much hate for that.
I think Dave's got something. Dave, contribute quickly.
Well, here's kind of the problem here. I mean, we have 2 different kind of almost ways to go about this. We have our traditional light kind of beers, and we have dark kind of beers. I mean, for a blind tasting though, I mean, if you were thinking about it, could you really tell the difference between a light beer versus another light beer, like Coors Light versus a Miller Lite kind of routine? But if you take a Guinness, for example, a different dark kind of beer, and you got some Bud Light, you're going to tell that taste immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. But, like, a guy that used to be on here with us named Dave Coulter, Beer Sampling with Dave, he said to me last year or a year before last, he said, you're full of bull. He said, because you can't really tell those beers apart, like Old Milwaukee Schlitz, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Coors, something like that. I said, oh, yeah.
You can tell them apart.
Yeah. I said, oh, yeah. Why are you trying to insult me? So, anyway, I did a bunch of taste challenges, right? And he was right. I couldn't tell those things apart at all. I was so ashamed.
Jay, I chimed in on one of your videos. You had to taste it beforehand, looking at the can or the bottle, whatever it was, And then I guarantee if you went back and tasted it, you'd be like, yep, this was the one I tasted out of whatever the can or bottle was.
Right.
I guarantee it would have been a little bit easier. But I understand that American Adjunct lagers, they're pretty similar in taste, but they do, some of them do have a bit of a different taste to them.
They do. I agree. But I can't tell which is which. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was doing the taste challenges, I was like, well, this tastes a little bit this way, this is a little bit that way. But then I couldn't figure out which was which, though, which it proved what he was trying to say. He said, you cannot really tell them apart. But anyway, John, one more thing. John, I felt bad because Keystone Ice is no longer sold in the New Orleans area.
Why?
Because, oh, well, don't worry. I called the distributor.
Yeah. Ice everywhere around here.
I'm having trouble finding it around my parts too. I can find Keystone, I think, but I can't find the ice for some reason. I was having trouble finding Keystone Light too.
Keystone Light. We only get Keystone Light. I called the distributor. I said, "What's going on?" He said nobody was buying it, and so we yanked it. He said we were tired of it sitting on the shelf and going out of date, and all we did was throw the stuff away. I said, "Well, I can't argue with that."
I can still find it in upstate New York, but around my parts, I'm having trouble finding Keystone Ice anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be able to find it in 40s around me too. I was looking for the plastic 40 because they went over to plastic, and I can't even find Keystone.
Shatterproof.
Hey, Keystone Light sells like crazy, but they couldn't give the Keystone Ice away. Okay. Anyway, we got to go on because it's getting short. I know people have stuff to do. Now, John told us what his standbys are. Nate.
Nate.
In the house.
Unmute.
He had Carling Black Label.
He's got to come up with a new standby. He can't find
his standby. That was just some oddity that he found.
You're on mute, Nate.
I am on mute. I couldn't find. Yeah, I can't find this anymore. So usually what we have in our fridge now, or my fridge, because I have the beer fridge, is the Yingling Black and Tans, and they're not. It's not like we're expecting it to be like a real black and tan kind of thing like that. It's just kind of decent beer. It's an okay beer to have around, and it's not too.
It's recently come back to Massachusetts too, so I mean.
Yeah, we're getting it in Connecticut now too. Rhode Island's got it now too. Yingling Black and Tan's decent standby.
Yeah, I like that beer. I mean, it's all right. Can't get it around here anywhere, but I like it. Okay. Well, anyway, I thought it was really interesting, and the reason I came up with this topic was I thought it'd be interesting to see what people just keep to hang around with in the fridge. Like they're not going to sit and speculate upon it. They just want to drink it if they're, like you said, watching a Super Bowl or a movie.
Not a beer to fuss over.
Well, that's the traditional definition. Don't stand by safety. It's like something that's your go-to kind of beer. I mean, if that case, you have to think twice about it. It works.
Yeah, you got it.
And that was probably that was really the whole theme of the Budweiser commercial, even though they sort of like mishandled it, but or unless they did this on purpose and they knew that it was going to cause controversy. But the main point of that commercial was it's a standby beer, it's mass-produced, it's been around. We don't care. Most of our people drink it because they just want to slam something back. They're not going to sit there and examine it in great detail. And I could understand that part of it. So, and then everybody started crying over it. And I wasn't about to cry over it because it was kind of funny, I thought.
Got to be easily obtained as well.
Okay?
All right. Well, anyway, actually, in my whole life, I've never actually been hurt by beer commercials.
Don't start now.
I've been hurt, and it's not really hurt. I've been disappointed when beer brands have been pulled from an area.
Right.
But it's not like I had a nervous breakdown because I didn't have Bud Dry anymore. I just said, oh, hell, well, I'll buy something else.
It's pretty dry in the first place.
Yeah.
But one thing around here, of course, we're right on top of Louisville, Kentucky, but we're starting to see a lot of those older beers that we're talking about start coming more into distro around here.
Like Sterling.
The other way, man.
Yeah, Sterling.
Didn't they bring back Fall City also?
They brought back Fall City, yes, they did. And they also brought back Sterling, Jay.
How about Hood Pole?
L.
Yes, we can get about 3 or 4 different kinds of hootie pole around here.
Hootie pole?
Spell.
Yeah, somebody sent me some of that. Well, anyway, we can go on and on for hours, but I know people would be like, "Oh Lord, I don't want to watch this."
Mail.
But anyway, thank you for watching it. If you did watch it, and I really do appreciate everybody participating. And you want me to tell you what we got planned coming up?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is gonna kill our This is not gonna kill our audience, but it's gonna make half the people not be able to participate because it's Milwaukee's best ice.
Next week?
Yeah.
I'm having trouble finding that too.
I don't know if I can find that one.
I can find it only in one type of vessel, which is 32-ounce cans, single sales.
Find a big boy can if I get to the right store.
Yeah. Well, what you can do now, you can get on the Milwaukee's Best website, and I do believe there is a locator, and it'll tell you, okay, type in your zip code, and it'll actually show you a map of what stores have it. That's very helpful. I used it for trying to find a beer a while back. Those locator tools are very helpful. You'd be shocked sometimes what beer is really close to you.
Right.
I used it with Keystone. Back in the summer I used it, and it worked. The Keystone Light I actually had to go through, and then I found Keystone Premium through it. But can't find it anymore.
The really good thing about the Keystone locator is it not only tells you what stores carry which brands, it'll actually tell you what bottle, if it's in bottle or can or draft.
It actually is pretty critical.
Yes, critical is true.
It will do that. So, anyway, thanks, folks, and y'all have a good night.
All right.
Bye.
See you for the beast ice.